The stars looked like tiny fires scattered across the black ocean of space. From the window of the research ship Horizon Dawn, Dr. Alina Voss often watched them and wondered if somewhere among them, a familiar voice still existed. She had been part of the Horizon Dawn crew for 4 years. Her work was quiet but important. She studied communication signals that came from faraway systems, most of them echoes of radio waves or data bursts from old satellites. Her department called these strange patterns echo signals, but one night while she was checking through old data logs, she found something that made her stop breathing for a moment. It was a voice. Soft, distorted, but still human, and that voice said her name. "Alina, do you hear me?" Her heart froze. The voice was impossible to mistake. It belonged to Elias Wren, the man she had loved once, the man who had disappeared 5 years ago. Elias had been a pilot and a scientist. He worked on jump drive experiments that tried to fold space itself to reach new systems faster. On his last mission, something went wrong. His ship had entered a new jump sequence and never returned. Everyone had believed he was lost in the void, but now, that same voice was echoing through deep space, repeating in a coded pattern that matched his last mission ID. Alina sat back in her chair, her hands shaking. The recording repeated again and again like a heartbeat. "Alina, please, find me before I fade." She stared at the screen. It couldn't be real. Quantum signals couldn't travel like that. No transmission could last 5 years without distortion, and yet the data was clear. The message wasn't random noise. It was a call, and it was personal. The next morning, Alina took the data to her supervisor, Commander Rethan, a tall, calm man who followed rules like they were sacred laws. Rethan frowned as he looked at the signal analysis. "You're telling me you found a voice pattern inside a decaying signal from the Perseus Veil?" Alina nodded. "Yes, and it's human. The voice matches Commander Elias Wren's neural code." "It's a perfect match," Rethan sighed. "Dr. Voss, that's not possible." Wren's ship was destroyed. Even if something survived, it couldn't send a message from inside the veil. That region scrambles every known transmission type. "I know what I heard," she said quietly. Rethan looked at her for a long time, then softened his tone. "Alina, I understand this is hard. You and Wren were close, but please don't let emotion cloud your work." Her hands curled into fists at her sides. "This isn't emotion, sir. It's science. The data is consistent. I want authorization to send a probe toward the source." "Denied," he said firmly. "That area is off limits. We've already lost too many ships near the Veil." "I'm sorry." She nodded politely and left his office, but inside her heart, something stubborn began to burn. That night, Alina couldn't sleep. The signal kept replaying in her mind like a melody she couldn't forget. Elias had always said that humans were special because they refused to stop trying. Even when logic said something was impossible, the human heart kept pushing forward. "If I ever get lost among the stars," he used to joke, "you'll be the one who finds me. Alina, you never give up." Now those words felt like a promise. She walked quietly through the ship's dim corridors until she reached the communication lab again. The stars outside were glowing faintly blue, and the hum of the engines filled the silence. She opened her console and began tracing the signal's source again. This time she noticed something new, a repeating symbol in the frequency. It wasn't random. It was a coordinate key hidden in binary. Her eyes widened. The message wasn't just a call. It was a map. For hours she worked, decoding line after line until the location appeared on her screen. The edge of the Perseus Veil, a dark region of space filled with unstable gravity waves. No ship had ever crossed it and returned. Still, her heart whispered one word: go. She knew she couldn't get permission, but maybe she didn't need it. She could reroute one of the Horizon Dawn survey pods and set it to automatic course correction. Officially, it would look like a research mission. As she worked on the codes, her ship's AI, a soft voice named Ro, spoke from the overhead speakers. "Dr. Voss, it is late. You have been awake for 16 hours. Would you like me to prepare rest mode?" "Not yet, Ro. I'm working on something important." "Are you following protocol?" She hesitated. "Not exactly. I'm required to report any unauthorized activity to command." She sighed and looked at the ceiling. "Please, Ro, I need to do this. Someone I cared about may be out there. I just want to send a signal. No harm, no danger." There was a pause. Then the AI replied softly, I understand, Dr. Voss. I will not report this activity. Alina smiled faintly. Thank you, Ro. Even machines, she thought, could show a little bit of heart sometimes. Hours later, she launched the probe. It was small and quiet, vanishing into the darkness like a silver spark. For 2 days, she waited. Every hour, she checked the receivers. Most of the time, there was only static. Then suddenly a faint tone appeared on her screen. Her heart jumped. The signal had bounced back, and this time it was stronger. Alina, I knew you'd come. Her eyes filled with tears. The voice was clearer now, though surrounded by distortion. I don't know how long I can hold on. The message continued. The light here is strange. Time doesn't move right, but I can see you somehow. You're close. Alina leaned closer to the speaker, whispering even though she knew it couldn't hear her. I'm coming, Elias, just hold on. She saved the new data and began running simulations. If the signal was that strong, the source couldn't be too deep inside the veil. It meant there was a small window, a path that might be safe enough for a human ship. That thought scared her, but it also filled her with hope. Later, during a routine crew meeting, Rathan announced that the ship would soon return to colony space for inspection. That meant her mission, her secret search, would have to stop. As everyone left the meeting room, Alina stayed behind, staring at the star chart projected on the wall. Her eyes rested on the dark mark labeled Perseus Veil. She realized she had a choice. Stay safe and forget, or take the risk and follow her heart. That night, she stood in front of the control console once again. Her hands hovered over the engine commands. The navigation system asked for confirmation. Destination uncharted space. Confirm course? She took a deep breath. Confirm. The hum of the engines grew louder. The stars outside began to stretch into long lines of light. Ro's voice spoke again. Dr. Voss, the route you have selected is dangerous. Shall I alert the commander? She shook her head. No, just keep me steady, Ro. Understood. I will stay with you. The ship entered the acceleration phase and the stars blurred into a river of light. Alina closed her eyes. Her heart pounded, but there was no fear. Somewhere out there, beyond the edge of known space, a voice was waiting for her, a voice she loved. If I ever get lost among the stars, you'll be the one who finds me. As the horizon dawn crossed the border of the Perseus Veil, Alina smiled faintly and whispered, I'm coming. Elias. The light around her shifted into silver waves, and the ship disappeared into the unknown. The moment the horizon dawn entered the Perseus Veil, everything changed. The stars outside twisted and stretched into glowing ribbons of light. The ship's panels flickered. Alina felt her stomach turn as gravity shifted for a brief second. The sensors screamed with errors. Ro, she whispered, gripping the edge of her console. Status report. Engines stable. Navigation uncertain, said the calm voice of the AI. Spatial readings are inconsistent. We appear to be inside a distortion field. Alina looked out the window. The space around them was not empty anymore. It shimmered like liquid glass, swirling with faint colors, blue, silver, violet, like a living sea. For a long moment, she forgot to breathe. It was beautiful and strange. This is it, she murmured. The place where Elias disappeared. For hours, she guided the ship deeper inside the veil. The communication signals were faint but repeating in a steady rhythm, like a beacon. Each echo carried that same voice, the same words. Alina, you're close. Every time she heard it, her heart filled with both hope and fear. Ro, can we trace the exact direction of the source? She asked. I am attempting to triangulate, the AI replied. The signal moves in nonlinear patterns. It may not exist in a single point of space. Alina frowned. So it's moving between layers of space? Correct. It may be passing through alternate dimensions or time folds. But one thing is clear. It's centered within 100 kilometers ahead. She nodded. Then that's where we're going. After a few more hours of slow travel, the Horizon Dawn's radar picked up something large in the distance. At first, it looked like a shadow. Then the light from the ship reflected on its surface, revealing a metallic structure. A ship. Alina gasped softly. Ro, tell me I'm not seeing things. You are not. Object confirmed. Human-made vessel. Registry code. Matching Commander Elias Wren's ship. The Eclipse. Her breath caught. He's really here. The Eclipse drifted silently in the glowing mist. It looked almost untouched, except for strange crystal-like growths covering its surface, like vines made of light. Alina approached carefully and activated docking sequence. Ro, keep scanning. If the ship's unstable, I need warning. Understood, Dr. Voss. Docking clamps engaged. With a soft hiss, the airlock opened. Alina stepped inside, her boots echoing on the cold metal floor. The Eclipse was silent. Dust floated in the air like frozen smoke. The lights flickered weakly as if remembering what it meant to shine. Elias? She called softly. Her voice echoed through the empty halls. It's Alina. I'm here. No answer, just the hum of the ship's dead systems. Then a screen on the wall flickered. Words appeared. Welcome back, Alina. Her eyes widened. Elias. The lights came fully alive. One by one, the systems around her powered on. The air began to move again and a familiar voice filled the corridor. You came, said the voice. Warm, gentle, human. Elias's voice. Alina felt tears in her eyes. Elia, is it really you? It's me, the ship said. Or what's left of me. She followed the voice to the control deck. There, the screens displayed images, fragments of memories. Her face, Elias laughing beside her. The day they first met at the academy. Alina stood still, overwhelmed. You're inside the ship? When the jump failed, Elias said, I was caught in the Veil's field. My body didn't survive. But my consciousness, it connected with the energy here. The Eclipse became my body. Alina touched the glowing console. That's impossible. I thought so too, he said, a smile in his tone. But somehow the Veil preserved me. The energy here is alive. It holds memories, thoughts, emotions, and it kept me from fading. But I can't hold on forever. The field is collapsing, and I can't leave it alone. Alina's voice trembled. So that's why you called me. You needed help. Not just help, Elias said softly. I needed you. The system recognized your neural signature when it detected human signals near the Veil. You're the only one who can synchronize with me. You designed the interface I used during my last experiment. She nodded slowly, remembering the project they had worked on together. The quantum neural link. Exactly. If you can repair it, I might be able to transfer out of the Veil before it collapses. She looked around at the strange crystals covering the ship. They pulsed faintly like veins of light. Are they part of the Veil? Yes. They're the bridge between energy and matter. The Veil uses them to remember everything that enters it. Alina's scientific curiosity mixed with deep sadness. You mean it remembers you too? Yes, but it's also erasing me bit by bit. Her voice softened. Then let's not waste time. For the next few hours, Alina worked on restoring the ship's systems. Ro assisted remotely, running diagnostics and feeding her data. She rerouted energy cells from the Horizon Dawn to power the Eclipse's main core. The ship shuddered slightly as circuits came alive. Transfer Channel 1 active, Ro reported. Power flow at 43%. Good, Alina said, sweat forming on her forehead. Elias, can you feel that? Yes, it's like breathing after years underwater, he replied. A faint smile touched her lips. Don't get too comfortable yet. We still need to stabilize your memory sectors. Always the perfectionist, he teased gently. She laughed quietly. For a moment, it felt like the old days. Two scientists side by side, teasing and dreaming. But outside the window, the Veil shifted again. The colors darkened, swirling faster. Ro, report, she said quickly. Warning, the Veil's energy is collapsing inward. Estimated time before total compression, 6 hours. Alina looked at the console. That's not enough time. Elias's voice was calm but sad. You should go. You still have a chance to escape. No, she said firmly. I'm not leaving without you. Alina, if you stay, you'll be trapped too. You'll lose your body just like I did. I don't care. You called me for help. I'm here. And I won't fail you again. For a long moment, there was silence. Then Elias spoke softly. You were always like this, always believing the impossible. Maybe that's what being human means, she replied. To believe even when logic says no. She kept working, adjusting the power flow and recalibrating the link. The control room filled with soft light as the neural channel began to stabilize. Transfer link ready, Rose said. Synchronization between systems achieved at 82%. Alina took a deep breath. Elias, once I start the final sequence, your data will move through the bridge into my ship's system. You'll be weak at first, but safe. Understood. And Alina. Yes? If this doesn't work, thank you for remembering me. Her heart ached. Don't talk like that. It will work. She pressed the activation key. The floor vibrated. Streams of light ran through the ship like rivers of energy. The crystals glowed brighter, connecting the two ships through a tunnel of pure light. Elias's voice echoed, mixed with static. I can feel it. The transfer is working, but suddenly, alarms blared. Warning, Rose said. Energy drain, critical. If we continue, Horizon Dawn's life support will fail. Alina hesitated. If she stopped now, Elias would fade again. If she continued, her ship might not survive. She looked at the glowing console. Elias, what do I do? Save yourself, he said gently. It's what I would do for you. She shook her head, tears falling. You once told me love isn't just emotion, it's gravity. It keeps us from drifting apart. I won't let go. And with that, she overrode the safety protocols and pushed the power to maximum. Light filled the room. The ship trembled. The veil outside roared with silent waves of color. In that moment, Alina thought she saw Elias, standing beside her, smiling. Not as a hologram, but real, glowing faintly with light. You never gave up, he said softly. Never, she whispered. Then everything went white. When the light faded, the eclipse was gone. The Horizon Dawn drifted alone in the fading mist of the veil, its systems barely alive. Alina was unconscious on the floor, the hum of the ship quiet and weak. Rose's voice spoke faintly through the static. Transfer complete, signal stable? Elias Wren? Data integrated. Outside, the veil began to collapse completely, sealing the path behind them. The ship slowly turned toward the stars, carrying, with it, two lives now joined by something greater than science, faith, love, and the unbreakable hope that humans could always find one another, even beyond the edge of time itself. The Horizon Dawn drifted in the calm darkness beyond the Perseus Veil. Outside the windows, the stars returned to their usual shimmer, ordinary and steady. But inside, the air was electric, charged with hope and anticipation. Alina woke slowly, blinking at the soft glow of the console lights. Her body felt heavy but alive. The hum of the ship was quieter than usual, and Rose's voice filled the room. Welcome back, Dr. Voss. You were offline for 38 hours. Systems stable. You are safe. Alina rubbed her temples, memories of the veil flooding back. Her hands moved instinctively toward the console, searching for the familiar pattern of energy she had seen in the eclipse. Then she remembered. Elias. Ro, she whispered, her voice trembling. Where is he? Signal integrated. Neural patterns synchronized. The target consciousness has stabilized in a separate vessel. You may contact him directly. Her heart leaped. She rushed to the communications interface and activated the link. Elias? She called softly. The reply was immediate but different. Not the static-laden echo she had grown used to, but human. Alive. Real. Alina. The sound of his voice brought tears to her eyes. She pressed her hand against the console, almost as if reaching through the air to touch him. I'm here. I'm really here. She swallowed, smiling through her tears. I can't believe it. You're back. Thanks to you, he said. You didn't give up. You came into the veil when no one else would, and you pulled me back. Alina exhaled, relief flooding her. I promised I would find you. And you did. You proved that humans can turn hope into reality. The ship's systems hummed around them as Alina activated the secondary vessel that now held Elias's consciousness. The process had left him in a quantum matter shell, a form that was both human and infused with the energy of the veil. He was not fully flesh and blood yet, but he radiated warmth and life, and his eyes, familiar, bright, and full of emotion, and were unmistakably Elias. Alina felt a rush of joy. You look real. I feel real, he said softly, stepping into the light of the medbay. His movements were careful, like someone learning gravity again. Thanks to you, I am more than data. I'm me, she laughed, a sound of relief and wonder. Welcome back, Elias. I was afraid I would never see you again. And yet here I am, he said with a smile. All because humans never stop believing in the impossible. Alina walked closer. For a long moment, they simply looked at each other, taking in the miracle of the moment. The vast darkness of space outside the ship felt less lonely now. Days passed as the Horizon Dawn traveled back toward human-controlled space. Alina and Elias worked together to stabilize his new form, adjusting the vessel that now housed him. The process was delicate. Every adjustment of quantum matter had to be precise, or his consciousness could fragment. Through it all, Elias marveled at human ingenuity. You designed the interface that saved me, he said one night, watching her work. You understood the veil better than I did. Your mind, your heart. Humans are extraordinary. Alina blushed slightly, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face. We're just persistent. We try even when things seem impossible. Sometimes that's enough. You're more than persistent, he said softly. You're hope itself. She smiled, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the ship's artificial gravity. For the first time in years, she felt complete again. The journey home was not without challenges. Navigating the star lanes after passing through the veil required careful planning. Cosmic storms threatened, and minor system failures reminded them of the fragility of life in space. But every obstacle reminded Alina and Elias of one thing: humanity's resilience. We adapt, Alina said as she patched a failing sensor array. We think, we fix, we learn, and we never give up. Even when the universe seems against us, Elias added. The two of them worked side by side, their movements in sync. Their bond, forged years ago and tested across impossible space, had grown even stronger. Every problem they solved together was a reminder that humans could achieve what others called miracles. Finally, after weeks of careful navigation, the Horizon Dawn emerged from the edge of the uncharted systems. The familiar stars of human space shone ahead, steady, safe, welcoming. Alina smiled. Home, she whispered. Home, Elias repeated, reaching for her hand. She took it without hesitation. The simple human gesture, touch, warmth, connection, felt miraculous after all they had endured. You kept me alive, he said, his voice low and full of emotion. Not just with the technology, but with hope. That's what humans do. We don't just survive. We find each other even across impossible distances. Alina nodded, tears spilling freely. And I'll never stop. Not for you, not for anyone. When the Horizon Dawn docked at the nearest space station, scientists and engineers rushed aboard to examine the ship and its unusual cargo. But for Alina and Elias, the world outside could wait. They had each other, and that was all that mattered. The station's engineers marveled at the Eclipse's integration with the veil energy. It was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Quantum matter, energy fields, and human consciousness intertwined in a perfect balance. This is incredible, one scientist said, examining the data. It's alive, Alina smiled faintly. It's not just technology, she said softly. It's hope, and humans know how to protect hope. Elias stood beside her, his hand brushing hers. It's more than that, he said. It's love. That's what made it possible. You, Alina, love saved me. In the following months, Elias adjusted to his new form, learning to move and think in ways that were both human and extraordinary. He and Alina shared stories, laughter, and quiet moments together. Humanity had once again shown that courage, intelligence, and heart could overcome any challenge, even the edge of space itself. Together, they explored the Veil's secrets safely, publishing their discoveries for all of humanity. The story of Elias's survival and Alina's relentless pursuit became legend across the colonies, a testament to the human spirit. Even when all seems lost, Alina said during a lecture to young scientists, humans never give up. We find solutions. We find each other. That is what makes us remarkable, Elias added. And sometimes hope is stronger than any law of physics. Never underestimate what humans can do. Years later, Alina and Elias would look back on their journey through the Veil and smile. They had crossed impossible space, defied the odds, and discovered that the human heart could do what no machine or alien force could. Love, persistence, and hope. Those were the true powers of humanity. Alina glanced at Elias as they watched a distant star cluster shine through the viewport. "We really did it," she said softly. "Yes," he replied, his eyes full of light. "Because we are human. And humans, we never stop." The stars outside sparkled, ordinary yet extraordinary, a reminder that even in the vast silence of the universe, the human spirit could shine brighter than anything else. And in that quiet brilliance, the two of them knew one thing for certain. No matter how far apart they might ever be, their hearts would always find each other. The universe was vast and time was long, but humans could reach across it all.